Good morning. Today is June 20th and it's TipTop Tuesday. And today the topic is going to be grace. And it's getting a little cloudy. Let me just fix something. I think that will improve the lighting. I think it improved the lighting just a little bit. The clouds are going in and out. So I'm going to wait a few minutes. Hi, Shore. I know, I'm so excited about this topic. It's just the best. So anyway, but I'm going to wait just a few more minutes to see who else gets them cozied in. I started thinking about this because, especially in today, what's going on in today's world, grace is such an important part of our everyday living. And so, being the kind of person that wants to know, well, what do other people think what grace is? I went and I started doing a little research this morning. So I have a couple things that I'm going to read. So the first one is about grace having a godly presence, and the idea that grace has the religious concept that a person's action has been infused with godly presence and remains on the soul. Then, because I was raised Catholic, I looked up some Catholic things, and I have it's from CatholicCulture.org. According to the Catholics, in biblical language, the condescension or benevolence, and which is the Greek word charis, shown by God towards the human race, it is also the unmerited gift proceeding from this benevolent disposition. Grace, therefore, is a totally gratuitous gift on which man has absolutely no claim. Well, on occasion, the scriptures speak of grace as pleasing charms or thanks for favors received. This is derived and not primarily use of the term. And of course, and then you have to figure out, well, where's the word come from? And the word might be coming from two different sources. Grace is derived from the Greek word charis, which apparently means to rejoice. But according to a friend of mine, Claire Levenhagen Ellis, who in her early 20s, or even younger, developed a poetry anthology series called Charis. And here's some of her books. They're from the 70s, and so they're a little dog-eared. Hi, Donald! We're talking a little bit about the word charis, which my friend had these poetry books, and she did them. And the idea that charis was a delight giver, and that was supposed to be a Hindu Indian word. So it occurs to me that the root of it might be very ancient, and that we do know, of course you are. Donald, no, I'm going to try to stay focused. Okay, here we go. But anyway, so, you're so funny. Yes, you are famous for lots of reasons, Donald. But anyway, one of the things that it all says is that grace has very much of a loving kind of feel to it, and it talks about it being an action, in that God's giving us this. It's a gift. And so I started thinking about, what does grace mean to me? And one of the things that I think when I think about grace is grace through action. That, yeah, sometimes we pray and we want, hi Penelope, aloha. I'm so glad you guys are here. Anyway, so when I think about grace, I've often thought of it as an action step. God, give me the grace to move forward when something's difficult, and I need to be present, and I need to be as loving as I can. What I found most interesting about all these definitions is there is no mention of love. It's not like God's love gives us grace. It's giving us grace as a gift. So I started thinking about people. And let's say you have to, you're, what is it, oh, I'm going to use Donald as an example. He made me some lovely tea a couple days ago when I was visiting with the baby. I was visiting him too, it was his birthday, but his granddaughter was quite something. But anyway, and his daughter was there too, and she's lovely. But anyway, back to the story. And he brought that tea to me with love and action. And to me, those simple gestures of kindness is a form of grace. We have a tendency to be taught that grace is something that is not easily shown or given, or it has to be really hard. You have to be some kind of big hero. And to me, grace is love in action. It's just that simple. When we, say, instance, somebody else brings me a cup of tea, and they're not real happy about it. It's a little early in the morning for them. They didn't want to get up, but they did, right? That wouldn't be Donald, by the way. And so they're giving me this tea, but it's begrudging because they think they should. It's the should part. When we are operating in shoulds, we're not operating in grace because our heart is closed. We're operating from our mental rules of what we're supposed to do. So those are how I kind of define what grace is. And to me, when you look at a small child, they are so full of love and grace that to me, we are born with grace. We are absolutely born with grace, just like we move through life with it. It's not something that's necessarily part of our gift from some outer thing, like from God, from here to here. We live in grace if we choose to live. And a lot of even new agey people, it's kind of cute. I suppose I'm considered one, but I don't really see myself that way. But anyway, back to the story. To me, when people talk about being in the flow, what they're really talking about is grace. Because when we're in grace, things just move along. Our language will also kind of back that up, in that when we see somebody dancing skillfully, or we see somebody skating, we will comment, or even how they walk, we will comment on how graceful they are. And basically that grace is a smoothness, a flow. And that's the outward sign on a physical level of what grace is. But the inward sign is just the action of love and our intention. And yes, since I do believe that sometimes we do need more, and we call in God or the collective good or the collective love to help us go through a very trying time. Hi, Carolyn. It's like when you're moving to the East Coast. Are you laughing? But anyway, so those kinds of things are what grace is to me. It's simple. It's just, and it's an acknowledgement of how we can heal each other through simple, kind actions of love, kindness, and joy. When we are, and that goes back to what the Greeks are saying. What the Greeks are saying is related to, the Greek word is to rejoice, to be joyful. When we're doing things that we care about in a loving manner, we are happy. We're glad to serve. We want to do that. So we do sort of tiptoe around the edges and talk about these things, but we actually maybe don't sit down and feel them and acknowledge them. And so I did today. So if you have any questions, that's okay. And I just wanted to also say, there's in my book, I always do it like that, I don't know why. It's not very American. And there's a whole section in here called Peace Eaters. And it's the idea that we are born peaceful, and that we really do want to be, because when we're born, we're the closest to the spiritual world. So of course, that's good. That's a higher vibration. Grace is really about vibration. when we're focusing on a vibration of love, which is a higher vibration than lots of other things. Oh, thank you. Charlene just said she finished your book. She loved every minute of it. Isn't that terrific? Anyway, sorry, I'm a little off top, but thank you. And so and we know that when something terrible happens, everybody's vibration goes way down. And we can feel it. It's like this dense energy. It's like the difference between a rain cloud and sunshine. And sometimes you need the rain cloud to kind of process stuff, but sunshine really often feels better. So, I don't think there's any questions, but if you have any comments, I would love that. That would be terrific. So, but, yeah, any more comments? So I'll wait, see if anybody has any little brilliance they want to add, because we're all brilliant. I'm just tired of people being kind of think like they're less than. They're not less than, they're more than. So that's my graceful exit. Oh yes, these are my drums. This one I made a long time ago. It doesn't have a very good sound. And this one someone gave me and I really like it. It's from India. And I have an Irish drum called the Raran, but it's located in my desk area because you never know when you're doing something. What you want to do is like pull it off the wall and do a little play and keep yourself going. So anyway, thank you, and thanks for joining me. I totally appreciate it. Have a terrific day. Bye. Oh, have a dazzle of a day. That's what I always say.